you are in a particular lifestyle that you do not have the intention to be able to move upward, because everything is stacked against you. But we can change that through schools, because I'm running for CMS school board. If you teach skills to the kids instead of standards, then you have a chance to be able to, for them to be able to rise above and do our things. I'm a living example of that myself.
So I do believe that as a result of the economic task force, education was one of the predictors that they talked about.
Third grade.
Are there more? Because clearly this is a multifactorial issue.
Yes, it is.
Mobility. What other factors do you feel like?
Well, I think housing is a big part of that, you know, because if you look at the commission's report also, you understand if you're in a housing situation that is not favorable, I'll use those words, then that is another indicator of what is actually, especially if you're moving every 6 months, 3 months, because if you don't have affordable housing, now you have that economic pressure, you carry that to school. It's going to make it very difficult.
So your point is that there's an impact because that shows up in the education.
It shows up in the classroom. As a classroom teacher with over 20 years experience, you see it. Teachers often pay for lunches and buy books and buy jewelry things, but we cannot buy homes. Okay, so what happens is the kids will come in for 3 months, and then by the 6th month they're moved because they're running. That's how long it takes to get evicted. You know what I mean? So they're running just against time, and so then your scores reflect that.
Got it. So let's switch for a moment. We haven't talked about this topic yet, but are you familiar with Project Lift?
Yes, I am.
Okay, so what are your thoughts around Project Lift?
I think Project Lift was a good start for what is needed to kind of right the wrongs of some of the things that are going on. The data shows that schools that have the partnerships, and that's part of my platform, that have the community actually coming into the classroom, engaging with the students, showing them relevance, okay, of what their education can do for their lives, it makes a very, very powerful difference. But the thing is, it takes time. It's going, like I said, I'm a PhD in curriculum instructor. These are empirical things, okay? If this longitudinal, you got to give it time. That means more than 6 years. You got to give this thing 10 times, and you got to have a commitment from the city council. You know what I mean? To continue to stay on this path, and you got to develop the partnership.
So you touched up on the point. So obviously you're a believer of empirical data. So how do you feel about metrics being able to measure success? Obviously, with the
metrics is an indicator. They're not a measure of success. Metrics work really well. I believe in data.
Well, measuring performance.
Measuring performance. No, there are indicators because now here's the thing. If you're going to use metrics, you got to use all different types. There's qualitative time metrics that you got to use. We don't do that. We only use the quantitative side. And if we're going to do that, then that way you don't really have a true hybrid indicator of what is actually going to work in the school or with any person.
Great point. So what do you think about what do you think, we're going to switch again to HB2, 7th grade HB2.
Okay.
Even though there may be some impact in the educational system, but what do you think the next issue is with HB2? And in your case, how do you feel like that may be some impact on the educational system?
The next big, I think that is what I call a small issue that was blown, okay? I think we misstepped in actually addressing that. Equity for all is equity for all, okay? And so
when you say we, are you talking about the people, or are you talking about the government?
I think we missed a chance. We missed an opportunity to stand apart, to show that we are a nation that is progressive instead of regressive, okay? And so what happened then is that what's left? And I'm about to run out of time. I can go on this for days, but the problem is when you have that kind of mindset, okay, in your leadership, then you create the culture for that same kind of dysfunction, and then you lose the economic things, okay, because of that, because society has moved on. We're no longer in the 50s, okay?
Great. Okay. I know this, it's so stark.